Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm Holly and this is my 6-week pregnancy update. So I'm going to start with my symptoms, what I've been feeling. I will just say I am 7 weeks and 1 day, so I'm looking back on the last week of when I was 6 weeks. I will show you a bump shot of how I am now because I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed in like 2 days, but just take it with a pinch of salt, and I will try and be more organised next week. As I said last week, I was going to try filming these at whatever the week is plus 6, but I will explain it all in a second when you realise what symptoms I've had. So I've wrote them all down, and the first bullet point I've got here is nausea, nausea and nausea. Wow, have I been sick. Like, I haven't actually thrown up yet, which is a miracle considering how I've been feeling, and I kind of expected it for 6 weeks as well. I don't know why, I just had it in my head that that's when nausea tends to hit for most people, and it has hit really hard. This week has been a lot of tears. I have felt very sorry for myself. It's kind of, I feel like morning sickness and stuff, it's almost like you have a sicky bug, which when you think about when you get a sicky bug, at least you have the reassurance that it's not going to last forever. It's going to be maybe 3 or 4 days of you throwing up and then it's done. But knowing that this could be going on for like 6 weeks, months, it's just very disheartening. Yeah, it's a big symptom that has affected this week. It's made it really hard to do a lot of things. For example, I'm still breastfeeding my littlest one, and she is 16 months, so she doesn't breastfeed loads, but because she is older, she's very she likes to climb all over me, and so she'll sit on my belly, and then she's like she just wants to crawl and be everywhere, and is just crawling all over my belly, and I just don't want anyone touching my belly right now. I'm finding it very hard to wear anything like around my waist. I have resorted to actually wearing dresses this week because I just don't want anything touching my belly. I don't feel like I've got a huge bump or anything, but it's like bloating, and it's just, if anything, it's pushing on my belly. It's really making me feel sick, so it's definitely made feeding, like breastfeeding, more difficult. It's affected what I'm able to wear comfortably. I would say it's also affected kind of my mood. It's made me very grumpy, and so I don't really want to like play with the kids as much. I just want to, I don't know, it's just when you're feeling like that, it's very hard to positively interact with them. And because I felt so under the weather, like we had an incident the other day where they were being adorable and Beau was trying to help Leilani walk, and he was holding her hands and stuff, but they were squealing, and it's just hard to deal with their energy levels, whereas mine are like down here right now. That's been really difficult, and it's actually started to really affect my sleep. I'm waking up during the night feeling sick. My best kind of thing that I'm doing to try and tackle the sickness is I'm trying to eat regularly. I feel a lot worse if I do feel like I'm hungry and my stomach's empty, but I'm very... food just isn't really appealing right now, and all the foods I'm eating are really crappy foods. Like, I've been craving apple crumble. I mean, I guess that's got fruit in, but still, like, eating chips and like plain rice and stuff, it's just not very nutritious. But I just need bland stuff, or like just pasta cooked in salt water. Just really not very great foods that I'm eating, but it's kind of, at the minute, it's more important to make sure I eat, I guess. But it's something I really want to work on. I'm desperate to try and improve what I'm eating, so that is what my plan is for this next week. So yeah, if it isn't obvious, I have not been working out at all. I mean, apart from the fact I don't have the energy to work out, I just feel so sick. I just, no way was I going to be able to work out. Fitness has gone out the window, but in some ways I feel like in this last week I've actually started to come to terms with the fact I'm pregnant, which is good. I'm kind of just in survival mode. I'm just trying to get through it now, and I've come to the terms, yep, I'm pregnant. It's really like sunk in and hit me hard, and the symptoms have really whittled their way in. I wouldn't say this has been a very good week, but at least I'm coming to terms with it, so that's really good in a way. It gets me kind of mentally preparing, and I have asked my hypnotherapist to make some recordings for me to, I can't actually remember what I asked her to make the recordings, but it was something to help me with pregnancy and dealing with the fact I'm pregnant. And if it isn't obvious, baby brain is still very much in force. So if we kind of just talk still about the sleep and the fatigue, I have actually started to have naps, and it's kind of a mixture of fatigue and nausea. It's just, it gets to a point later on in the day where usually I just get so sick. Like, I'm not having morning sickness, it just feels like it's all day, and if I'm lucky it might ease for a few hours, and it's just very up and down. So yeah, in that sense I'm very lucky that we are in lockdown and that I have the ability to do that. It's almost like it's my first pregnancy in a way, that I can actually just relax and stuff while he looks after the other kids in that sense. And to tie in with the fatigue as well, if I don't have a nap, or even if I've had a nap, I'm generally going to sleep so much earlier, like actually at midnight, whereas normally it's like 2 in the morning. So I'm definitely having earlier nights and just getting as much sleep as I can. But like I say, it's just very disrupted sleep. I'm just feeling very sick throughout the night and just waking up constantly. Oh god, and I just have gas that keeps coming up all the time. Funny, interesting fact, I don't burp at all apart from when I'm pregnant, and yeah, I've started to burp, which is just, it like completely grosses me out. I can't control it, whereas like my husband keeps telling me how to burp, and I'm like, that just doesn't work for me. I literally do not burp ever when I'm not pregnant, and for some reason it's already started and I'm just getting gas coming up quite a bit, and usually I'm either burping or have heartburn. So something that I think is tying in with the nausea as well is I have a super sensitive nose, and I think it's driving my husband insane, because I'm constantly saying, like, what's this smell? I can smell something. I can smell food. I don't want to smell food. I don't want the kitchen to smell of food. I don't want anywhere to smell of food. It doesn't help as well, we're still potty training, so my son keeps having accidents on the floor, and I can smell that, and it doesn't matter what we do, I can't get rid of the smell. But even if my husband can't smell it, I can smell it. I can just smell everything. Yeah, I'm just a bit neurotic at the minute in terms of obsessing over what I can smell, and I really just want a tidy house so that I can't smell anything that's going to make me sick. So the last kind of symptomy kind of thing that I want to talk about is from a mental health point of view. And I would say I'm starting to get very anxious this week actually, which I guess I have been a little bit throughout the whole since I've found out, but just especially this week I'm really starting to obsess over, like, am I going to have a VBAC? Will I be allowed a VBAC? Because I had my scar that ruptured in my last pregnancy, and when they cut me open, and they found that my previous scar had ruptured, and it really upsets me to think that I'm going to have another C-section. But then there's part of me that's freaking out thinking, a C-section, although there's more risk for me, it means it kind of guarantees more likely a safer birth for the baby. I'm terrified of if I went for a VBAC and say my scar ruptured again, that blood supply would cut off and then it would damage the baby, and I just couldn't live with that. Obviously we've already suffered one loss. I know it wasn't anything to do with that, it was just our daughter was very unwell and she was 16 days old in intensive care. Just the fear of loss is influencing how I feel about birth, but at the same time I'm just really not someone who is okay with C-sections. I really don't like the thought of having a C-section. I'm very nervous of trying to pick a hospital. I'm like, literally anyone I know that has had a baby at the hospital that I'm considering, which is closer to home but I have no experience with, I'm asking them what their experience is, and I'm getting very mixed reviews, which is scaring the crap out of me. So I'm definitely considering going back to Newcastle, which is a long drive for us, but I've never had one bad experience with Newcastle. They looked after us perfectly, they looked after our daughter, just the whole thing, and I never got treated badly, whereas it sounds like it's very hit and miss at the hospital I'm considering, and it was just appalling at the place I last gave birth. I feel like I'm miles ahead thinking of the birth, but it's very hard not to because it had such a significant impact last time. I ended up with postnatal depression last time, and I think I'm getting very anxious about that. I think my biggest fear is honestly just being treated poorly by medical professionals, and I think I'm just trying to find ways of controlling that, making informed decisions, doing my research. I'm going to write a letter or a document that kind of explains what happened last time, what was unacceptable, and what I expect this time, so I can give it to my midwife, I can give it to my mental health worker, and it's going to be very clear of this is kind of the pathway I want to go, this is the sort of care that I feel I deserve and the standard I would expect of care. Like, I can appreciate with the COVID situation that it's not going to be quite maybe as I expected. I don't know how often I'll be able to see a consultant compared to last time, but I still expect to be treated like a human, and I still expect I just don't want to be treated like I'm stupid, and I'm very nervous that I'm going to be treated like that. I don't want to sound really pessimistic, it's just I've had really bad experiences, so I'm really putting stuff in place early, making sure that if this is my last pregnancy, I'm going to go out with a bang and it's going to be a wonderful, beautiful birth and pregnancy. So I did actually end up in a mental health crisis, which was a very difficult situation, especially trying to access support during this virus and stuff. My mental health worker actually was allowed to come to the house with protective equipment, and she came and met me, and actually she was really nice, so I kind of feel reassured now that I've met her, and it sounds like she will actually stand up for me, which means a lot to me. But that's kind of why I had a crisis in the first place, is I was just terrified of meeting a new person, which is why it's so difficult for me in this whole thing, knowing that I might be choosing a hospital where I know nobody. I just don't deal very well with meeting new people, and I just get very anxious of being disappointed because I've often been let down, especially by the NHS, unfortunately. With all this anxiety, it has triggered some intrusive thoughts of like violent things, which I'm not best pleased about, but I do understand. I got explained last time when I was pregnant what those intrusive thoughts are, and the fact that I find them disturbing is actually reassuring that I would never act upon them, because like I say, I find them really appalling, offensive, repulsive, just really distressing, really upsetting things that are just coming into my head, and I would never do any of these things. But I understand this time that my heightened anxiety, it kind of manifests these thoughts that my head would know would upset me and disturb me. So I don't know why our brain works like that, but for some reason it likes to do that. But because I understand them, I feel like I can confidently manage them, because I know that as soon as I manage my anxiety and my anxiety comes down, that's when they'll start to dissipate and go away. So it's kind of in my hands right now, so I feel confident. I'm not concerned or anything, but obviously I will discuss it with my mental health team. Okay, so I've talked about all my symptoms. Let's talk about some exciting things that have happened this week. So our announcement came, and we are going to be showing this, I think we're going to post this online later this week, so when I'm 7 weeks, because we are just desperate to tell people. It was hand painted and then printed. We had it printed onto 3 postcards, one for my parents, one to send to my brother, and then one that we are keeping, which I've got framed. Obviously my parents already knew I was expecting, but it was still nice to give them this as a surprise. So here is their response.
Very nice.
So we just felt like it was appropriate with the reference that a lot of people that have lost babies refer to kind of having a storm and then having a rainbow baby. It just seemed to work perfectly that we've had a storm, a rainbow, a storm, a rainbow, and then I didn't really know what this baby would be. And so then it just made sense that it jumped into a pot of gold, and so this is our little surprise. And as you can see in the pot, it says January 2021. So I also got on my orders this week that I told you about in my last week. I'll just show you them. So I've got this book, which is, oh god, I'm out of breath. I just went to go get this from downstairs. Your Complete Vegan Pregnancy. Obviously I've not started reading any of these yet. Hopefully this is going to give me some meal ideas, and it's interesting that it also discusses apparently vegan friendly options for pregnancy testing, so that's like blood tests and stuff, I presume. So that will be quite interesting to know, although it wouldn't surprise me if this is an American book. And I'm just really hoping that this is going to give me some ideas of nutritious ways to keep eating during morning sickness. And then I got this one, Mindful Pregnancy. So this is meditation, yoga, hypnobirthing, natural remedies, nutrition, trimester by trimester. I would have thought this will probably have some things in that are not really appropriate, they'll probably have meat in and stuff, but apart from that, I'm really looking forward to this. I wish I'd kind of bought this sort of book a few pregnancies ago. I think this would have been really good to have the meditation and just other things that work alongside hypnobirthing, which I've always done, and I do love a good natural remedy as well. And then I got this one, which is by Alicia Silverstone, and it's The Kind Mama. So a simple guide to supercharged fertility, a radiant pregnancy, a sweeter birth, and a healthier, more beautiful beginning, which is my battery's dying. Sorry guys, so my battery just died, but as I was saying, especially the fact that this says about a more beautiful beginning, I really like that because I had not a great beginning in my last pregnancy, so I'm really hoping that this will help me with bonding, which was a difficult thing last time, and also contributed to my postnatal depression that I suffered last time. But I also like the fact that I know she's vegan, so I feel like her morals will kind of align with mine. So yeah, that's another one that I'm really looking forward to digging into at some point. And the other two things I ordered, I got this one from Amazon, and it is a vegan pregnancy multivitamin. I thought I got a really good deal on this, but then I realised you have to take 2 capsules, so I actually think this works out the more expensive one, but it does have a charity donation with every purchase, so it's not all bad. But I may change this next time to a more economical one. It depends. There is a few different vegan options. This is a brand I've already heard of, which kind of gives me the reassurance, and it's obviously got folic acid, B12, which generally vegans take anyway. But yeah, I'm really happy with these so far, and they smell a lot better than the ones I had in my last pregnancy. So I also got these. It is Spartone. It is literally, they are these little packets, and it's just iron rich water, and I got the ones that have apple and vitamin C because vitamin C is super important. Like, there's no point having loads of iron in your diet if you don't have the vitamin C to help you absorb it. So I'm taking 1 a day plus the vitamin, which hopefully then I'm not going to be anemic this pregnancy, which is super important, and then hopefully it will help this baby grow. And I'm also, one thing that I have decided to start trying, which I will let you know how it goes next week. It's quite expensive compared to like non-vegan versions, but I've started trying to drink a probiotic. I've only taken 1 shot so far. Obviously it's live cultures and stuff that helps your digestive system, and I'm hoping that might help my morning sickness. I've never tried this before, so I don't know how it's going to work. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I'm taking it every other day because it's like £1.20 for a bottle, whereas I'm sure when I wasn't vegan, the Aptamil that you can get like really big packs for about £3, and it's like maybe 2 weeks worth, and it's more than £3 just for 3 bottles. So yeah, I'm just gonna do them every other day and see if it does help, and I feel like it might just help. I don't know, I'm just trying to cover all bases to have the healthiest pregnancy possible. I'm really starting to conscientiously think of my health and what I'm eating, what I'm taking in, and I'm trying to move forward kind of planning what is better for my body and my baby. And apparently, according to whattoexpect.com, the baby is the size of a sweet pea. I don't really know what a sweet pea is. Like, is it just a small pea, or I don't know. But I know that next week it will be the size of a blueberry, so I'm just guessing it's a little bit smaller than a blueberry. I do feel like my bump has started to show a little bit. I don't know if it's bloating or what, but I will show you guys. Like I say, I'm 7 + 1, so take it with a pinch of salt, and I don't think it'll be much different than 2 days ago, but you can kind of see. So if you can see, I'm wearing really loose fitting clothes, so you can kind of see a bump a little bit. And then if I do it the other way, I maybe should have done this more like facing my bump, but then so you can kind of see. There you go. Do you guys think there's a bump? I feel like it's starting to show a little bit just there, which is crazy to think it's obviously a little pea size shape, but that my belly can look different already. So yeah, that was my 6-week update. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys next week with my 7-week update. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and like and comment and let me know how you guys are doing. And let me know if you think my bump is starting to show yet, or if I'm just going crazy, and obviously my husband is too, and it's all in our heads. Let me know in the comments below, and thank you guys for watching.